Bullshit, Mr. Kenny. This is not a rumor. Hi everyone, Nadine Wellwood. This is my rant. Frankly speaking, I want to address the issue today around the woman, Nikki, who was, in my opinion, legally kidnapped from the Calgary airport yesterday and is now currently being held in a detention center. There's a few things I want to address about this. As disgusting as an act this is, especially in Canada and especially in Alberta. This is a Calgary woman. She is an Albertan. She is coming home. She took a COVID test to get on an aircraft that was negative, only to be met by people she did not know, who didn't identify themselves, put her in an unmarked vehicle, escorted her to a detention unit, refused to tell her family where she was. Now, imagine if this was your wife. How about your mother? How about your sister? Getting better. How about your daughter? How would you have reacted to this? This is kidnapping. If this was anybody who had done this other than the government, this would have made front page news, missing woman. This is sickening. I want to address this. And if you think this is wrong, check out Cian Bexty on the Rebel News for the details. He spoke with Nikki at the hotel where she is being detained. Now, Mr. Kenny, this was his response on Twitter. There is a rumor. Bullshit, Mr. Kenny. This is not a rumor. Circulating widely that a woman who arrived at YYC last night was taken to a secret, in quotes, quarantine location by AHS. This is false. You're right, Mr. Kenny. You can wordsmith this all you choose. She might not have been taken by AHS, but she was taken, wasn't she, nonetheless? So rather than addressing the issue here of one of your citizens who you have a legal responsibility to enforce the law and to protect your citizens, no, you didn't address that. You went about a technicality to point out that this was not AHS who did this. AHS, he continues, has nothing to do with enforcement of international quarantine requirements. See their statement. Mr. Kenny, you are a coward and you are a liar. As you can tell, I'm a little pissed off right now. I want to say one more thing. Mr. Stockwell Day even felt it necessary to chime in on exactly this situation. Here's the gentleman. This is the husband of Nikki. My wife was in the States for work, left 4 days ago. There were precautions she needed to take in order to travel safely, which she was more than willing to do, and did. She did them. Canada introduced a rapid test program in December which made traveling safe and easy during the pandemic. She was free to travel as long as she had a negative test before she left for the States and another one before she came home. Canadian Airlines will not let you board if you do not produce a negative result before boarding. This woman has done nothing wrong. Even Mr. Stockwell Day retweeted, "As former Minister of Public Safety, including borders, I can say this is a sickening distortion of process and women's or anyone's rights. Secret detentions? Question mark. If we cower in silence on this one, we deserve all future violations coming at us." And at CBC News, at CTV, telling their staff to ignore this. Well, I have to say, I am very thankful that it appears that some politician, be it former or not, has some common bleeping sense to be able to address what needs to be said here. Alberta, I am calling on every Albertan. This is our province. And Mr. Kenney, you are a coward and you lied to every single Albertan here. You are not protecting our interests. You tried to deflect this with some fancy wordsmithing. Every one of us should be angry. This could be your daughter, your wife, your sister next. This is what's coming. We allowed this to happen. So you see, people traveling in the car together without a mask. We said, oh, it's okay, they got a fine. It's okay, it's for our safety. Then we said, oh, it's okay to arrest 20-somethings for skating on an ice rink. It's okay, because again, it's for our safety. Well, it's time to wake the bleep up. Because now they are legally kidnapping and detaining civilians, citizens of this province, nonetheless, who did everything right and nothing wrong. So we have ignored all the warning signs to date. It is time for us to take action. Civil disobedience. So Mr. Kenney, obviously you lack leadership. You're a coward. You have no principles. For you, it's about re-winning an election. And I'll tell you right now, you will not win the next election. You're a shame and a disgrace to this province, and you should step down. Government's responsibility is to protect their citizens' civil liberties, and it is the government today who is trampling and the only ones breaking every law that protects our civil liberties. Unjustifiably, they have never produced a shred of evidence that can justify these draconian measures. So, Mr. Kenney, if you need an example of what leadership looks like, I'll do my best. Give me a moment. I'll recompose here for a second. How about we start with something like this? Mr. Trudeau, Alberta is its own province with its own rules and regulations, and it has a responsibility to its citizens to uphold their civil liberties and freedoms. I encourage every Albertan, effective immediately, to continue about their lives as they did pre-COVID. No more mandatory masks. If people feel the need to wear a mask, if people choose to wear a mask and it gives you some peace of mind, we encourage you to do so. But any business denying a citizen the right to shop in their store or use their services or access their products for not wearing a mask will be prosecuted under the law to the fullest extent possible. Every sheriff, every peace officer, you are being commissioned. You are now Alberta's official police force. The RCMP, if this is indeed who was responsible for yesterday's shenanigan, and kidnapping, you no longer have any authority in Alberta. Time to leave. In addition to that, we don't negotiate with tyrants, and that's exactly what Justin Trudeau is a tyrant. Just like Winston Churchill during the Nazi War, the Second World War, England wanted him to, we can negotiate. We can work something out. You cannot negotiate with thieves, liars, cheats, and people who are corrupt. And that includes Justin Trudeau. You are not welcome in this province. Mr. Kenney, it's time for you to grow a set of balls. And forgive me for saying it that way, people. But it is time for Albertans to stand together to understand the circumstances. We are being lied to, and these measures, which started out as a simple 2 weeks, it's just 2 weeks. Let's flatten the curve. They have used this to the full advantage. They are using the media to withhold information, not share information. I'm calling on every Albertan to share this video, to get as angry as I am right now. And if you don't want to do it for you, that's fine. Do it for your children. Do it for your grandchildren. Do it for your wife or your daughter, your sister, who could go missing just from having come home on an airplane from a business trip. This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany, people. This is not the time. Mr. Stockwell Day has already said it. If we do not take a stand and say enough is enough, let's get back to life as usual, then we deserve what we get in the future. Please share. I don't care if you like this or not, actually, but please share. It's time, Alberta. It's time to demand what our government is supposed to do for us, and that is protect our civil liberties. We have a right to our life. We have a right to our property. It's time. Thank you for watching.